Really big opportunity for my man Omar.
In the world full of podcasts, he's the undisputed heavyweight champion of hot takes, an Auburn sports homer, master of the boog, and message board legend. Get your buttons buttoned and your hats flattened because the Top Button Podcast is about to kick off. And you don't want to miss your courtside seat. Now, here's your host, Charlie Five.
Yes, sir. We're back. It's another episode of the Top Button Podcast. I'm your host, Kyle Rush, a.k.a. Charlie Five, and we are ready to get after it. Happy Friday. One more sleep, baby, until Auburn takes on the South Alabama Jaguars. All whites. It's going to be bright and early. Got to get up, got to get ready, and we're going to get after it. So, guys, today we're going to talk about Omar. You know how much I love Omar. He's got a massive opportunity tomorrow. We're going to talk about all the perspective around everything around that whole situation. It's really fascinating, and he's got a chance to explode. This long field goal kicker situation that I talked about earlier in the week, it's official. We're going to break down the dynamics of that and some very interesting visitors coming in this weekend that we're going to talk about as well. We're going to jump into all that in just a second. But before we do that, let's give a quick shout out to rowback.com. Use coupon code BARN20 to take 20% off your order. Auburn licensed apparel, polos. They got a really cool polo, hoodies, pullovers, all that good stuff. So you can get tailgate ready. You can get game day ready with Rowback, or you can just go check out all their other stuff. A lot of fun styles. Feels great, looks great, good stuff. Save big. It's rowback.com. My man Omar gets a massive opportunity this weekend. Damari is still going to be a game-time decision, just like we said earlier in the week when Hugh mentioned it in his press conference. It doesn't make sense for Damari to play this weekend. Let's just be honest. It doesn't make sense if there's any risk whatsoever. I watched him practice Tuesday. He's fine physically, okay? But when it comes to stingers, when it comes to stuff with the shoulder, the only thing you can do is time, especially if it's not correctable by surgery, or it doesn't require a corrective surgery. The only thing you can do is time. So it makes no sense really for him to play unless you just have to have him. He will be dressed out, which I said that probably makes the most sense. Dress him out. Have him there just in case. But again, I don't expect him to play, and it doesn't really. I don't think it makes a ton of sense to expose him like that right before you go to the toughest stretch of the schedule, without a doubt. So, with that being said, and you got the freak thing with Durrell happening, you just got Cobb and Omar. You got Jeremiah Cobb and Omar. And we know what we have in Jeremiah. We know what we have in him. He's explosive. He's going to be explosive. South Alabama does not have a good rush defense. They're like 112th in rush defense. There's going to be opportunities in the run game tomorrow. So you're good there. But as good as Cobb is, you got to have somebody, you got to have somebody to spell him occasionally. And now really all you have to turn to is Omar. Alvin is on the scout team. There's a big dynamic of being able to pull him out of those scout team meetings that he's in that are very important, and pull him into the regular team meetings that it's a lot harder than it seems, I guess. So he's going to stay there. So all you have really is Omar. Think about the dynamic of what's going on and what went on to get here, and everything Omar's had to overcome to get to the spot that he's in right now. Everybody knows he reclassified. He just turned 18 like last month, okay? So everybody knows that whole dynamic. Everybody knows he didn't get here until very late. He didn't get here until, late May, early June. So he's a whole spring behind. So he's younger. He comes in late. He's honestly, you got a running back in the same class who's got a lot more fanfare, a lot more PR, a lot more notoriety than him. And he overcomes all those obstacles to the point to where he's going to be your number 2 guy this weekend. Now, that's because of some injuries, sure. But to the point where he's about to go take on a pretty solid group of 5 team in his 3rd collegiate game. When I was in high school and you had young running backs, we ran like an I formation offense. When you had young running backs, they honestly, I know this is going to sound crazy, they'd start at fullback because when they'd run that fullback dive play, there wasn't a ton of options. You basically got to hit the hole and go. So it takes the thinking out of it, and you just kind of learn how to hit the hole and explode. And you saw a little bit of that, I feel like, on a different level when Omar got his first carries against Ball State. Wasn't anything fancy. It's boom, almost, inside zone, like right up the middle. And the thing about what he did was he didn't try to do anything outside of himself. He didn't say, oh my God, I'm a freshman, I got the ball, let me go do something crazy. I got to make the most of this opportunity. He put his head down. He busted through the hole. He showed really good balance, and he picked up big yards. 4 carries for 25 yards. One of them was almost 100%. The 13-yard carry that was his longest was almost all 13 yards were after contact and during contact. They were on him the whole way. Physically, you worry about you come in as a freshman being able to get in the weight room and maybe you have to have a whole year to reshape your body to get ready for college football. He looks ready for college football right now. Just so many things, so many obstacles that he's been able to he's been able to completely hurdle to get to where he is going into Saturday. Huge opportunity. Got to expect big things from him. I really do. I'm pounding it in, and I think he's going to be one of the next big Auburn running backs. And what a cool story it's going to be. Auburn High. I might as well just go ahead and call my shot. I think he's going to be the next big running back. Auburn High, Auburn University, local kid. It's going to be a really cool story, I think. This could be the first week, the first chapter of this book this weekend. So huge weekend for Omar. I think he's going to do the most with what he's given. Don't want to take anything away from Jeremiah Cobb. Going to see a lot of him. Probably going to see most of him, just like he did against Ball State. He was out there a vast majority of the time against Ball State. So I would expect to see a bunch of him, but you got to sprinkle in some Omar as well. So good stuff there with Omar. Huge opportunity. Huge opportunity. Let's talk about this field goal kicker situation. Going to break down that here in just a second. We'll be back right after this. Earlier in the week, I mentioned that at least at practice, it seemed like Connor Gibbs was going to be your long field goal kicker guy. He was taking the second reps. He was, when they were going into the 11 on 11, Alex kicked the shorter ones and Connor kicked the longer ones. He was the first one doing that. And that's what Hugh said. He said he's going to get the shot, the nod as long field goal kicker. I would assume he's probably going to do kickoffs too. That would make the most sense. And I think that's fine. I think that's a good thing for Auburn. It's unfortunately, I know it was kind of a freak thing. He twisted his ankle, but unfortunately, Towns has just struggled, man. And I can't really put my finger on exactly what's happening. I'm not a kicker guy, Definitely don't know anything about mechanics. I mean, you watch Towns at practice, and he kicks it almost onto the roof of the practice facility, which is, if you've ever seen it, it's a massively high building. I mean, just booms it in practice, but for whatever reason, when you get in the game, you put the pads on, something doesn't go right. And maybe he just needs more time. I don't know. But that is a difficult situation. You hate to see it. But luckily this year you're a little bit prepared. You have a guy like Connor Gibbs who has a really big leg. You saw it on display when he went out there for kickoffs. Really big leg. And last year he was pretty accurate from long distance. So it makes sense. Alex just doesn't miss right now from anywhere from like 25 yards and in. So anything from a 35 or maybe even a 40-yarder in field goal, he doesn't miss. He's still limited in strength. He hasn't missed an extra point. He kicked the field goal, the shorter field goal against Baylor, so that's fine. That's a weapon. It is a lot to ask of a guy to come in knowing he's not going to get any chip shots. Like, they're all going to be some of your lower percentage kicks. And I've seen some people talk about how this is a bad idea because, hey, he's going to come in cold. That's a lot to ask for somebody coming in cold. He should kick all the field goals. And my response to that is, don't kickers always come in cold, no matter who they are and where it's from? I mean, you're talking about very few opportunities that they get regardless. Very few opportunities that kickers actually get to get on the field regardless. And I assume he's going to be kicking off, so that's going to help him not be cold because Auburn's going to hopefully score a bunch of points. A two-kicker system is not necessarily like a two-quarterback system. I don't think it's that big of an ask. Hey, looks like we're getting close to field goal range. Let's have two nets on the sideline so both of them can kick and be ready. What if we only kick 40-yard field goals? And then you ask Alex to come in later to kick a 25-yard field goal. Is Alex coming in cold? Where do you draw the line there? It's kind of a weird thing to get hung up on. I don't think it's very, very rare to have a shorter field goal kicker and a longer field goal kicker. And I don't think you can point to a lot of like historical pairings as, a bunch of failures, I guess. I don't know. I've seen an inordinate amount of concern over having two kickers and one coming in cold as if it's like a quarterback that we're rotating a quarterback in on third down to throw to get a completion on third and long. Hey, he's coming in cold. It's not the same thing. Like, they're both cold. They're both sitting over there on the sidelines with nothing to do. Hey, just get two nets. Instead of one, get two and have them over there both kicking, getting ready just in case. Hey, it's going to be a 45-yarder. It's going to be a 35-yarder. Like, let's just both prepare as if we're going out to kick them. Nobody's cold. How about that? Problem solved. Connor's got a big leg. Should be fun to watch him booming out of the back of the end zone. Hopefully he doesn't have to kick any field goals. Hopefully it's just Alex kicking extra points. And we're just punching it in to the end zone and kind of continuing our success in the red zone, at least through the first three games. Would love to see that on Saturday. Some big visitors, not nearly as big as last week, but still some good visitors coming in. You got three, I believe, four commits, coming in for visits. Jacquez Wilkes, good to get him here. Wilson Zaire, your four-star offensive tackle, good to have him back. Parker Pritchett from Columbus, Georgia, long drive for Parker. He looks good, man. He's really done a lot to his body. he looks ready to go. And then Eric Perry, our running back / quarterback / athlete from South Haven, Mississippi. I want to look into what his statistics are. We may talk about him during the live stream a little bit on Saturday. So those are your commits coming in from the 2026 class. Your 2027 commit. Jalen Scott's going to be here as well. So I guess that's 5 total commits between the 26 and the 27 class. I got an interesting guy I want to talk about that's coming in to visit. Auburn wants to take, obviously, I think they want to take 2 wide receivers. And you have one committed, a really good one. He got a little banged up in his last game. So I think he might sit out this game. We'll see. I think he's fine, though. A little bit of a knee thing. But you got to take a second guy. And it seems like the consensus is that more than likely it's going to be Deshaun Spencer from Saraland. Really good kid, really good player. I think he's vastly underrated. Puts up big numbers. I mean, you've seen him Moss, Naeem Offord in the state championship as at that point in time. No, he would have been a junior last year. Yeah, so I mean, does it against really good competition. But a guy I'm watching out for that I feel like Auburn's keeping warm is B.J. Bedgood from Benjamin Russell High School. Very similar player. 6 foot, 160, 170 pounds. Explosive athlete. He's having a really good junior season. I think he had a kickoff return. He's had a fumble recovery return. He plays a little bit of everything. He had 2 big touchdowns, I believe, against Opelika to start the year out. I've talked to people in Alex City. My buddy Brett Pritchard over there at the Auburn Blitz says, hey, wouldn't shock him if BJ had better stats than Cedarian Morgan by the end of the year. He's a player. And he's been here now a bunch of times. And he's coming back this weekend. I think Auburn might be keeping that one warm too. And it may be a pick 'em. Which one do you want? Deshaun Spencer, which it seems like it's been a lockdown. That's who it's going to be for a while. Or who's committed to Duke currently. So obviously he'd have to flip. But now BJ Bedgood is starting to sort of creep his way in there. You got a really good quarterback at Benjamin Russell in the 2028 class. He's a sophomore, and he's a freak apparently. So you already got Malcolm on the team. You're going to take a shot at C.D. Morgan at the end of the run. And I wouldn't even count C.D. Morgan in the wide receiver count. He's one of those players you just get if you can get him. Doesn't matter what position group. Doesn't matter if you got 10 of those guys already committed. You take CD if you can get him. So do you work all that in together to get this really talented crop of kids that are coming through Benjamin Russell right now? It's just 45 minutes up the road from Auburn. Would make a lot of sense. So I got my eye on him. I think that one could be interesting down the road. Another 2027 guy that's coming, this is be his second week in a row coming, is Jatori Williams from Phoenix City at Central High School. Okay. He's number 4 in the state. Sorry. An interior offensive lineman, 6'5", 302. He's a monster. Last week he came. I think he declined all interviews, according to some of the guys at On3. Coming back again. You want high caliber offensive linemen? Here you go. Be as big as he gets, and in-state, another in-state guy, and a guy from Phoenix City. I'd take the best player from Phoenix City every single year, at least one, maybe 2, every single year. Don't care. Just give me the best player off your team every single year. You're going to be all right. They get the players, man. So, a little bit lower key recruiting weekend, but still some interesting folks coming in to visit. So it's good stuff. Auburn's in a good spot recruiting-wise. I really thought you'd have some action yesterday, especially with Hayes Fawcett putting out his tweet. But maybe you're going to have to wait a little bit for some of these flips to materialize. But I think everything's still moving in the right direction there. So, guys, let me know what you think in the comments. Let me know if you're fired up about Omar. Let me know what you think about the kicker situation. And then, obviously, where we're at in recruiting. Live stream tomorrow. Live stream, we're going to kick it off at like 11:40, like right before the kickoff starts. We'll have a little pregame, and then we're going to have some fun during the game. So definitely jump in on that. Last week was amazing. I expected numbers to be down a little bit this week because it's an early game. But, hey, if you're waking up a little bit late and you're got a little bit crusty eyes, wipe them out and jump in the live stream and let's have some fun. Get in the chat. We'll have a good time. Appreciate you listening. We'll be back again soon. It's another episode of the Top Button Podcast. Stay buttoned.
Thanks for listening and drive home safely.